our idea is to open a youth center where we would like to implement different kind of activities, but about neutral thematic. Let's say our focus is mainly artistical, cultural, and musical, and also about ecology. I mean, the biggest issues that, in general, in the world we are facing, and all these themes are really important. From what I saw in these last 2 years in Bihac, I met local people. I had my surrounding, my friends from there, and they have really a huge potential in artistical, in musical, especially field. So I would like to show that. I would like to bring that up. So we would like to work with them and to sensibilize them also about the issues. After 2 years living in Bihac and working first for an Italian NGO, which is called Lipsia, I was working inside the camps. I decided to also try to work with the local population, not just with the population in transit, but with the local people, because I believe it's really important. And I believe they feel also abandoned, the international community, because all the focus is just on the migration flow, but not on how the people is responding to it. So the current situation in Bihac, let's say that after 3 years, this is not anymore an emergency, this is not a crisis, but this is a fact, this is a migration flow that is going on, and it's time for the population to see it in a different way. A big mistake that happened for me in Bihac is that nobody spoke to the local people, explained them what's going on, why suddenly they find different kind of people from East, from North Africa, Middle East, Asia. I mean, it was a big shock for them, and that is understandable, but nobody take the time to create some kind of mediation between the two communities, the one in transit and the local population. Right now, the situation in Bihac is quite tense, let's say. There are still a lot of people outside sleeping in the streets, in the squats, in abandoned buildings and so on. So the mediatical attention just focus on Lipa, but the problem is all over Bihac, and not just Bihac, Velika Kladuša and all the Unasana canton, which is the canton where there are more immigrants right now, people on the move, which are trying to reach Europe or just a safer place for themselves, for their future. So of course tension grows, and fear is always the biggest problem, the biggest issue. So what we thought with some locals, some of my friends actually, and two volunteers from Portugal that were coming in Bihac, that came in Bihac a few times, they really liked the idea of opening a local NGO to change the focus, to change the idea, to work with the local population and to work together also with the population in transit. There is a huge migration from local people, especially from youth, youngsters from Bihac that are going to live abroad, especially in Germany, in Austria, in Croatia, or even in another city like in Sarajevo, but everything not Bihac. Most of them ask me how I am crazy to live there while they are all trying to go outside to reach Europe. So also I think there is kind of parallelism with this migration flow from Middle East that crosses Bihac, and also local population which is also trying to go game in another way. We found a location which was the previous cultural center in Bihac, which is thought abandoned since many years. This was the previous cultural center of Bihac, all this huge building, and since many years it's abandoned. Now a few rooms are taking over again, like an association called Art Lab open music registration studio down there, and we already spoke with them. They're willing to cooperate with us because we would like to have some musical workshop also.
Nice.
So we have the place for that already, and our space is this second floor.
There with the windows, yeah. How big is it?
It's 140.
140.
And also we would like to make ecological actions because we believe that is really needed in Bihac.
This is
Since last year, so one from Bihac to have different kind of activities, workshop, for example, music lesson, art lesson, cultural workshops, round tables, focus group.
How are you?
good.
The city and the cultural center of Bihac is really willing to help us in this project because they're happy to see that young people are willing to take back their own, their city, to be engaged in activism and in